Be Wealthy and Smart, episode 558.
Step into a world of wealth and financial freedom without budgets, boredom, or bosses on Be Wealthy and Smart. And now, here's your host, Linda P. Jones.
Welcome to Be Wealthy and Smart. I'm Linda P. Jones, America's Wealth Mentor, empowering women and men worldwide to financial freedom. On today's show, we're going to talk about luxury home sales dropping because there were some pretty serious statistics that came out that show that high-end home sales have dropped by 16% in the first quarter. So we're going to talk about where that was, why that's happening, and give you all the good details. This comes to us from an article on CNBC.com, and it was written by Diana Olick. And it was called Luxury Home Sales See Biggest Slump in Nearly a Decade. And there's three key points. The first one is sales of homes listed at $2 million and above fell 16% in the first quarter, the sharpest annual decline since 2010, according to Redfin, a real estate brokerage. The second key point is this, as the supply of those homes rose 14%, marking 4 straight quarters of annual increases in inventory. And the third key point is the average price of a luxury home, which Redfin defines as the top 5% in each of the 1,000 cities it tracks, fell 1.6% to $1.55 million. Non-luxury homes saw their average price rise 2.7% annually to $300,000. And the article says, the nation's priciest properties are in far less demand this year, and that is taking a toll on their values. Sales of homes listed at $2 million and above fell 16% in the first quarter, the sharpest annual decline since 2010, according to Redfin, a real estate brokerage. This as the supply of those homes rose 14%, marking 4 straight quarters of annual increases in inventory. The average price of a luxury home, which Redfin defines as the top 5% in each of the 1,000 cities it tracks, fell 1.6% to $1.55 million. Non-luxury homes saw their average price rise 2.7% annually to $300,000. Demand for high-end homes is waning in large part due to changes in tax law. The amount of state and local taxes that homeowners can deduct was capped at $10,000, and the mortgage interest deduction was reduced from $1 million to $750,000 in mortgage debt. Not only do the new rules make it less desirable to purchase a multi-million-dollar home in high-tax states, it has also motivated some people, especially those with big incomes and big housing budgets, to consider moving to places like Florida, Washington, or Nevada, which have no state income tax, wrote Redfin's chief economist Daryl Fairweather in a release. The shift in the luxury market has been more pronounced, therefore, in certain metropolitan markets. The average luxury sale price fell hardest in Boston, down 22.4%. In Newport Beach, California, down 21.8%. And in Miami, Florida, down 19.3%. Miami's drop may have been less about tax changes and more about overbuilding on the luxury end in recent years that has led to an oversupply of high-end homes for sale. All right, I want to pause there and say those are enormous drops. 22.4% in Boston, 21.8% in Newport Beach, and 19.3% in Miami are enormous price deductions. And it could be about taxes, although not in Florida, because obviously there's no state income tax in Florida. But it could also be that we were seeing some softening at the high end. Or in Florida, we also had a lot of international buyers. We had Russians, Chinese, we had a lot of people from out of the country buying in Florida. So it could be that international sales are down as well. Again, we don't really have the reason why the sales are down, this is really pretty much speculation. The article goes on to say, in Greenwich, Connecticut, home to the chiefs of some of the nation's largest hedge funds, it's all about taxes. It can be significant, said Jonathan Miller, CEO of Miller Samuel, a real estate analytics and appraisal firm. You're looking at $5, $6, $7 million properties that pay $100,000 to $125,000 a year in taxes, and now you can only write off $10,000. What that does is impact value, but it takes a while for buyers and sellers to agree on what that value is. Greenwich sales in the first quarter of this year were down 25% compared with a year ago. The median price fell 17% to just over $2 million, according to Miller Samuel. The average number of days homes sat on the market before selling rose to 214, and there is now a 2-year supply of Greenwich homes for sale. It's a great buy right now, so my buyers are getting awesome deals, said Jennifer Leahy, a real estate agent in the area with Douglas Elliman. I had a buyer who bought a house for $6.6 million that was on for $8.25 million. I have a buyer who got a house for $750,000 that was on for $900,000. So you can get a great deal in every price range right now. Some luxury markets did see gains. In Charleston, South Carolina, luxury prices were up 42% annually to $2.3 million. In Boise, Idaho, prices rose 17% annually to $1 million. The boom in Boise, according to some Redfin agents there, is due to sky-high prices in Denver, the San Francisco Bay Area, and Seattle. High-income tech workers who can telecommute are seeking more affordable markets where they get more bang for their buck. End of article. All right, well, you can see that it's hard to make blanket statements about real estate because there are different markets. But one thing that we expect to be true, and that is that perhaps in states that don't have state income tax, those states may do better in their real estate markets rather than states that have state income tax. We also are seeing a little bit of a specialty situation in Greenwich, Connecticut, because there are so many hedge fund managers that live there. And some of those hedge fund managers have started to move to Puerto Rico because of very favorable tax laws in Puerto Rico and minuscule business tax there. So they have encouraged people to move to Puerto Rico, and if you move and have a business, you have very little tax. I have heard of hedge fund managers moving their businesses there. And we also had a difficult year in the hedge funds where some of the management fees have declined. So that may also cause some managers to be selling homes in Greenwich, Connecticut. But all in all, this is a trend that we want to watch. We want to see what's going on in the luxury market, because if the economy is softening, it often happens at the luxury level first. And we have seen in New York, homes are staying on the market longer. Now we're seeing this move to Connecticut. We're hearing people move out of New Jersey. And we are also hearing 1,000 people a day moving into the state of Texas. So lots of migration happening around, lots of different moving patterns. We're following those to see which states have prices continuing to move up and which states have prices that are softening. But either way, this is big news because these are bigger numbers than we have seen in a decade, and important to pay attention to these kinds of trends. If you haven't yet subscribed to Be Wealthy and Smart, please hit the subscribe button and you'll be updated 3 times a week as soon as new podcasts are available. That's all for today. Until next time, live the good life and be wealthy and smart.
Thank you for listening to Be Wealthy and Smart with Linda P. Jones. Share the wealth and tell your family and friends about the show. Check out our website, blog, and social media for more riches at www.bewealthyandsmart.com.